Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we will be continuing the 0 to 2000 ELO speedrun. I'll be playing people at the 1500 ELO level and maybe 1600 ELO. Okay, so against the 1527, I like to play d4, c4, the queen's gambit against literally anything. Okay, the move e6, I like to play the move c4. Maybe they push this pawn d5. No, I never seen this specific move order before, but I'm gonna play d5. Most likely he's gonna develop his knight and then, okay. So that's check. We can block with the bishop, block with the knight. Let's see what happens if we block the knight. Knight blocks. If he takes, we can take back on the pawn. His plan after knight to c3 is to get the knight developed in order to get here and to add more pressure. I have bishop to d2, and I can put the bishop there if I want to. Like bishop d2, we move somewhere up like queen c2, and then knight here. So I'm defending everything, and I don't really have to go for this specific line where I have to deal with this pin, right? So I'm going to play bishop to d2 first, attack the queen. Most likely the queen going to go up to b6 to attack my pawn, but then I can develop my queen, protect this pawn, and then we can play knight c3. Because knight c3, we will not be pinned. That's a very cool idea. Now, most likely he's trying to get to this pawn. Knight c3 makes a lot of sense now because there is no pin anymore, and there is no knight to e4. If he takes, I can take back with the knight, but I would say it's much better for me to take back with the pawn. Now we can take control over the center by playing the move e4, opening up to the bishop. Now we're just sticking to opening principles. My opponent here is going crazy. These moves indicate that my opponent is not going to castle kingside, because if he did, he's insane. Okay, you should not be pushing the pawns in front of the side you want to castle on. But he played the move h6 and g5 right away. And always remember this: when you want to use your pawns as a pawn storm and attack your opponent's king, make sure your opponent's king is castled in the direction you want to attack. For example, if I castle queenside, these pawn pushes are completely stupid. Okay, only if I castle kingside that they actually make sense, and only if he got development. Like his bishop is not developed, the knight is not developed, nothing is developed except the queen, which is looking at nothing, and the knight, which is looking at a very solid center. So that's a big mistake trying to go for this. What can we do here? I can play this move e5 to target the knight. The knight would move somewhere else, and I want to push the pawn and just gain more space. I think that would be cool and stop his bishop from developing. But e5 will be met with this move g4, knight g4. Knight g4, we need to protect the pawn. We can play, for example, knight to f3, and then we can kick away the knight. So I'm going to say this move, and if he takes, I can take back with the knight attacking his queen. So I'm going to say the move e5 makes a lot of sense, attack the knight. If the knight went back, the knight is not going to get into the game really easily, and we're going to keep this option for him to take us. Okay, so now he's targeting this pawn. We need to protect. How can we protect? We protect while we develop our pieces. So we can develop the knight and also defend. Now this move is going to be deadly, the move h3. Okay, so now he's adding more pressure to the pawn right here. Makes a lot of sense, actually. We have a way to target the knight immediately, like, for example, which is queen to e4. We're adding defenders, we're attacking the queen, then attacking the knight. If you play this move, I'm going to attack him. He goes back, and maybe then we can get back here. If I play this move and he takes, then I have rook to b1, an in-between move, and the queen has to move somewhere else, and then I win the knight for free, and then I can get back into the game. So now our main focus is to deal with this attack. 2 pieces attacking, only 1 piece defending. I need to get 1 more defender. If I play queen to e4, I'm removing the defense, of this pawn. But if the queen takes, the knight and bishop are protected. Only the rook will be hanging. But rook to b1 defended by the knight, the queen has to move, and his knight will be hanging. So he does not have the option to take this pawn, or otherwise he will be losing the game. So let's play the, first of all, queen to e4, attacking the knight. There might be an insane move, which is f5. I think f5 works. Yeah, f5, I need to go f takes, and then after the knight takes, I get back with the queen. Takes, knight takes. Yeah, I think this is the only move for my opponent, f5, which actually I did not look at, because I was only looking at the knight being targeted. The knight has no attackers right here. The queen takes is going to be bad because of rook to b1. If you play this move h5, which, yes, attacks the knight, defends the knight, but h3, knight goes back, and then we get back here. But there's this move f5. attacks the queen, defends the knight, and also um, keeps the tension on the pawn. I'm thinking about f5, allow this push, and get back here to e2. If he takes the pawn, I'll play this move, and the queen has to move, and h3 would win me the what the hell is this? Your 1500 elo. 1500 elo pawn would play this move. I mean, look, I mean, whenever you're stuck in this kind of positions, focus, on all the possible options that you have, not only on, oh, my knight is hanging, I need to give it away. If you want to give away the knight, at least give it like this, like sacrifice the knight, fork the rook and the queen, force me to take, and then go here and pin the bishop at least. So do something productive with your sacrifice. But going back and sacrificing the piece, it's completely pointless. That's number one. Number two, he's not focused. He's not looking at ways of defending the knight. The queen is attacking the knight. A major piece, really strong piece, looking at this very minor piece. Defend the minor piece with a pawn. It becomes, really invincible. Yes, I would win this pawn. Yes, I can play h3, but then I can go back. Then I can survive a couple of moves instead of just giving away the knight like this. Now that's a free knight. I just gotta take it. The bishop takes. I need to pay attention to this attack. So all I'm gonna do is just go back. Yes, I could have taken here. I could have caused some damage, but I'm keeping the tension. I'm allowing him to take me like this so that I can take back with the knight, attack the bishop, attack the queen, threaten the fork. That would be great. Now, my opponent simply played this move knight to a6 for one reason. The reason is he wants to play knight to b4 to attack my queen and add pressure right there. And after I move the queen, it's going to be a little bit annoying. So what do? I just play the move a3. This is what he wants. Just stop your opponent from getting what he wants, and they completely malfunction. They don't know how to play chess anymore. Okay, so now he's not going to get this move. The knight is on the side of the board. See, just a waste of time. Okay. If he takes me, I'm going to take back with the knight. The bishop and the queen are hanging. If he then takes with something, then that would be interesting. Like takes, knight takes, and then the queen takes here. Then I can take with the check. So hold on. Pawn takes, knight takes, queen takes, queen takes. No. Pawn takes, knight takes, queen takes, and knight check. The queen takes, and the bishop to c3 attacks the queen and x-rays the rook. So this would be a very cool, trick. I'm gonna play bishop to e2 because I need to develop all of my pieces. I need to get the bishop out. I need to castle my king, and then focus on playing good chess. My opponent is trying his best to get castled and do something productive. I'm gonna say we can castle right now. There's no reason not to castle. Just connect the rooks. It's always good to connect the rooks. And if he takes, still with pushing the pawn like this makes his position is really bad because now you lock the center and there are no attacks. The bishop is completely dead. So now I can play this move like knight to e4 to attack the bishop, to add some threats right here, to push this pawn, and after he takes back, we would have something really cool. So I'm gonna say knight to e4 makes a lot of sense, attacking his bishop. Now once the bishop moves, this f5 move will become possible. So I need to do something good, something strong. Okay, so about b4, takes. So what I'm thinking about b4, the pawn would take me. I would take back. The knight would take. I would take with the bishop, and after the queen takes, rook here, and the queen is trapped. So b4, pawn takes, knight takes, attacking my queen, bishop takes, queen takes, rook here, and we're taking control over the A and B file, and the queen cannot go to safety because of our knight, unless after the move b4 he played f5. Then I would like to take, but then that's going to be pointless, right? I want to play this move either way, and whenever he attacks me, I don't know, I'm thinking about sacrificing the knight. He would take, I would take here, and probably put the knight right there if I want to. And if he castled, then the rook would be here, and that would be a fork. So maybe that's too much, I would say. But let's go for b4. We need to attack. Let's see what he does. because we want to open the position. He locked the center. Now we need to open the position on one of the sides and attack where we have the majority of our strong pieces. So he decided to take. I'll take back, and he might be thinking about this to attack my queen. So after this move, we take, and now rook to b1 would be winning the game because the knight is still controlling the square. So we need to play f5 right now. The queen decided to go back. That's the move right here. The queen right here used to defend this pawn on d6. Now it no longer defends pawn. I can take with the check. I need to be worrying about this move, e4, attacking my knight and opening up for the bishop. Need to be careful. If the king went here, I'm thinking about another check. Takes this, push, knight. Maybe. Because I can also take here. Okay, think. I was thinking about some kind of a sacrifice, getting the bishop in to try to win the queen, but it's not possible because of the pawn push. Now, I don't want to take this pawn because my knight will be stranded right there, even though it will be attacking the knight, but then this push would happen and it would be very annoying. I'm thinking about a check just to remove one of his pieces because I'm up material. I need to trade. Now, after this check, and the bishop takes, and the queen takes, and the pawn push happens, I can play knight to e5, blocking the bishop from looking at my rook. So, this is a check. Because I'm already up 3 points of material. I don't need to do much. Okay, now I'll take here. After the king takes, this is another pawn that can be won. I would say that's winning, right? Okay, yeah. We can also put the bishop on c3, make some kind of discoveries to win the queen. Now it's all about making our pieces the best use of. Okay, so now this push, never play f6. Not in the opening, not in the middle game, not even in the end game. Like, this is insane. f6 weakens the square a lot. It allows my queen to get in. And after the king goes back to f8, that is checkmate in one. Whenever you make a move for yourself, make a move for your opponent. So my opponent only thought about f6, the knight has to go away. But no, f6, it used to defend the square g6, but not anymore. Because my queen can get in. After the king goes back, which is forced, queen to f7 would be checkmate. From Croatia. Serbia. Oh, they really look the same, actually. Serbia. Okay, so that's basically the only move. All right, now let's learn from the self-analysis and see what I did wrong, what my opponent did wrong. Because even me, like a 2100 ELO player, I can still learn from this game. d4, and he played this variation. I don't get it that much, but okay, that's a check. Bishop d2 was the best move. Okay, that's cool. Playing e4 and actually allowing this to happen. Allowing the capture. So e4, queen takes b2, there's knight c3. Oh, wow. Okay, so knight c3, if the queen goes back to b6, what did we gain from this? Rook b1. And now queen d8. So what we gained, really good center, 3 minor pieces develop, which is good. And then we can just continue like this. That's good. But I did not go for it. I played queen c2, defended my position well. And then he played this move. Queen to e4 was there. It's not the best move, but it is a move. Okay. No, I did not even play it right now. Now I played queen e4, which is the best move, right? Knight a6. What? Don't tell me this move f5 doesn't work. Why f5 doesn't work? E takes f6. What about knight takes? Oh, check. But king to f8 defending. Knight to e5. Knight to e5. What? Sorry, knight to e5. I think checkmate in one. King e7. The king has to leave the bishop, otherwise it's going to get checkmated. There is no way to stop it. So king goes there. There's a check, but the king can run away. So we just take here. King moves somewhere else, and it's going to be completely cooked. Wow. Yeah, but now here, he played this move, which is a free knight. I just took it. I went back to defend myself. And here we opened up the position in the right way. He lost one of his pawns. Now forcing his king away. c5 is telling me the best move. Make sure the king will not be running away, and maybe some kind of preparing something with the queen. Okay. I played another check because I just wanted to remove the bishop. I'm already up material, because whenever they still have material, they can do some counterplay. They can attack you. They can do some damage. But if they have no pieces, then it's just going to be a simple conversion. You just push the pawns and win the game. So he went back, decided to take, took a free pawn, and this pushed. I mean, look, it was +6, but after this move, it just checkmate in 2. So make a move for yourself, a move for your opponent, and stop playing super fast. Like he has 6 minutes on the clock, almost 7 minutes. That's insane. Okay, let's play another 10-minute game. Let's go. And by the way, if you wanted to look into your games like this with really, really thorough explanation of your own games, probably 3 to 4 rapid games, you can join my free chess community. It is in the description below. Okay, so the move G4, the Grob opening. Like basically, I believe what against anything that is not E4, and then in the Caro-Kann, I just play this move C6 and this move. I just take control over the center. He plays this move H3, I guess, just to defend the pawn. But it weakens this diagonal. Okay, so this move does defend the pawn, but there's a problem. If I take, bishop takes, knight over here attacking the bishop and the pawn, bishop goes back. This is not cool. I'm just going to take. Bishop takes, I can gain a tempo by developing my knight, attacking his bishop, attacking the pawn twice, forcing him to do something like this, like bishop right here, or bishop back to keep defending the pawn. Or maybe it pushes the pawn, which is completely stupid. Okay, so now bishop takes. Always focus on developing. Like, look, my opponent is choosing a very weird opening, but that does not mean that I need to change my principles. Play principled chess. Knight f6, develop the knight. And then we're probably going to play like a move like e5, get the bishop out, castle the king. See, this move is horrible on so many levels because the knight is not going to be capable of developing. Knight goes here, that's a free pawn. Maybe he's thinking about pushing the pawn like this, which is going to be annoying because I have to move the knight back or go here, and I'll be attacked even more. So what to do? Stop the move, stop the threat. Okay, now this move doesn't even begin to make sense. Okay, so whenever things open up, look for opportunities. Like this check doesn't do much. There's a bishop there, there's a knight there, so I'm helping him develop his pieces. Only if there's something there that I can win with a check, then that would be cool. If I don't gonna gain anything from it, then there's no reason to do it. I can play this move e5. And hear me out. e5. If he takes, I take his queen. The king takes back, or the bishop, it doesn't matter. Then this pawn is hanging because I removed one of the defenders. Now I take, he takes, and I take back, and I managed to simplify the position a little bit and destroy his castling rights. That's a good move. And also, it threatened this move e4 to attack the bishop and to remove the defender of this pawn. So e5 takes, queen takes, king takes, or maybe bishop takes, doesn't matter. We're going to win this. If he takes, I take back, and I can always get back and continue playing chess normally. I'm going to play e5. Because whenever your opponent has control over the center, do not play passively. Don't play like e6, bishop there, castle. Play not aggressively. This is not aggressive chess. This is just, he has control over the center, and you need to challenge it right away. That's nothing. We can just take. He took, maybe thinking that the knight is going to be pinned, but this is nothing because we can win this pawn. We have two ways of winning the pawn. Queen takes d4 and pawn takes d4. Which one is better? Let's see. See, pawn takes d4, there is no trick of playing queen to a5 check to win the bishop because the bishop can go back and block the check. If queen takes, we are attacking this pawn. We are threatening to destroy his castling rights. So after queen takes, pawn takes. Can we defend the pawn? Because our pawn is in their half of the board. Can we defend it? We can play like a move like c5, right? This is not targeted because the bishop is defending. But queen takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, pawn takes. We can have double pawns that are isolated. Nothing is near them, so the pawns can never be undoubled. But we're up a pawn. Is that worth it? Because here, we can still take with the queen. Choices, choices. You know what? I think I'm going to simplify the position because I'm up a pawn, and it's a good challenge for me to deal with some kind of a position where I have double pawns on the f file and no other pawns like this to try to undouble them. So I'm going to go queen takes the d4, attack the pawn, take the queen, and if he takes me, I take. I have my way of defending. So like knight to e2, c5. Exactly, he decided to go for that. Yes, I have double pawns. Yes, my position is not the greatest. He wants to go for this. I'm going to play c5. Hold on. c5, there's this move, knight to e4, attacking my pawn. We have to be careful. I cannot get my bishop developed because of this move, attacks my pawn. I cannot protect because I lose my pawn and I lose the rook. What do I have? I have a way of simplifying the position even more by giving away the bishop. Playing bishop right here, if he push, I'm going to take, and if he takes, still going to be pinned. So after this move, the idea that I want to remove his ability to, to target my pawn, I want to push, and I want to get the knight out and continue this position. So I'm going to play bishop here first, pin the knight. Okay, now he castled. This move will be there. So I guess I'll take. The rook will take, attacking my pawn. I have c5 to defend, and I'm going to play knight c6, or maybe better, knight to d7, because I don't want him to take me. This move doesn't do much. Knight d7, pawn push, knight to e5, attacking his bishop. The bishop would move somewhere back. We would play push to attack the knight, and once the knight moves, I can gain more space. That would be beautiful. Yeah, I'm going to play knight d7. He might be thinking about this, which is really, really the best move, but he did not even find it. Okay, now we need to get away from this. So we need to play king to f8. King f8 makes sense. I can also castle, but then I'll be getting into some checks. King d8 is something even better, but I don't want to get involved into this. I don't want to pin myself. So I'm going to play king to f8. Some pawn push, knight over here, attack the bishop. The bishop moves, I push the pawn, knight moves, I push again. Okay, king f8. Because you see the rook, lining up against your king, just move your king away because you don't want to get involved into any kind of discovered checks. That's going to cost you the pawns. Best move is to play c3 to challenge these pawns. This is not good. He was supposed to play the move c3. What is the idea of c3? The idea is to challenge these two pawns and leave me with these two double pawns that are not really enough to win anything. So I'm going to play knight to e5 now, attack his bishop. It is hanging. And I have to make sure I'm still defending this pawn. So maybe a rook b8 first, then we push the pawn. Oh, bishop here. Okay. So this push is not possible right now. But I want to play rook b8 and I want to push the pawn. Let's play rook b8 first. Nothing is hanging. There is this move, which is f4. He's not, I don't know. Look. The rooks do not belong behind the pawns unless it is like 100% like you are in a rook and pawn endgame only. There's no other pieces on the board. And you're using the rook to support the pawn to push and promote. There is a rook at the end. There's a king right here. My opponent is just wasting his time with these moves. Now the pawn is defended. I can gain space. I want to play this move bishop g4, attacking the knight maybe. Something else. Do we have something else? I have bishop to f5 to push the pawn. And if he takes, I can take with a check and win this pawn. We have many, many good moves. This move, he can attack me, though. And then I would go back. It's still good. Okay, let's play bishop to f5, developing the bishop. And then we can focus about, targeting the knight right away. It doesn't make any sense because this move weakens his position even more. See, the knight is being targeted. I can go back, and I'm attacking both of these two pawns at the same time. But knight to g6, this pawn is not hanging because it is defended. Now to go back, he can push his pawn and force me to move my knight, one more time. But knights belong in the center of the board, and they belong in a square called like I really forgot what did they call it, but yeah, an outpost. We put the knight here, and then we put the knight there. Defended by a pawn, the pawn cannot be removed so easily. So I'm going to go knight here. Yes, he can target my bishop, but I guess I can go back. Or maybe I can go here, because I have double pawns, right? So if I play this move, and he takes and I take back, my double pawns are, are out of here. So bishop right here, bishop takes, pawn takes, knight over here to attack my pawn. I can play this move. This is defended. I can push the pawn also. So yeah, I'm going to play this move because my pawns are doubled. I want to undouble the pawn, so if he takes, I'll take back, and my king can protect both. And my knight is going to jump right here. Yeah. Never help your opponent get a good position. My opponent helped me get a good position. Okay. This move doesn't even help in any way. It helps me have more center. This move attacks the pawn, yeah, but this is not good. This is not good. Okay, so now we can play rook c8, because whenever he takes, we can take back with a check. We can get the king active, and put the knight there. This is completely crushing. Even though we're only up one pawn, but the position is completely messed up. There's nothing hanging right there. He might be thinking about taking this pawn once he kicks away my knight. So I need to protect this pawn somehow. Not king f7, because there's a fork. King e7, I think it makes a lot of sense and defends everything. Yeah. Always pay attention to tactics. King to f7, think about your opponent's move, which is a fork. But king to e7, he doesn't have this move. If he attacks my knight, I can simply put the knight right there. He would have some checks probably. Or maybe I just defend the knight. I have two ways actually. Okay, ooh, that's even worse. Now he allowed two passed pawns to push. He did not challenge the center. He did not even do anything. All right, so we have this move. Target this pawn. Because this move attacks the pawn on c4 and attacks the pawn on f5. And the way to see these kind of moves is to think about checks, captures, attacks, and pawn breaks. Do we have checks? No. Captures? Yes. But that's a free rook. Threats. And threats usually are either you're threatening to checkmate your opponent or to take one of his good and strong pieces, like threatening the queen, threatening the rook, and then threatening the minor pieces like the knights, then minor pieces like pawns and something like that. Then you see this move. You're like, oh, I have this move. It attacks the pawn, it attacks the second pawn, and it's not possible for him to defend. There might be a move though, like rook g1. No, wait, rook g1. It's a little bit tricky because it gets in. Okay, he decided to defend this pawn. Now I can take this one. I only have 1 minute on the clock. I have to be very, very careful. Remember, rooks are not supposed to defend pawns. We need to defend the pawns with another pawn. Now we need to use the rooks on the open file and just win this game. We get the rook here. We attack his knight. We double up. We trade the rooks. We win this pawn. Okay, he's attacking my knight. I have this way of defending it. He might add more pressure, but I can take this pawn. Yeah, let's go here. So rook f1, rook takes h5, rook takes, rook takes. Okay, it's had to push. Doesn't make sense. Because I have rook takes, but nah. What is the best move? Oh, I need to play a little bit faster, actually. Oh, I don't have time. Now we're going to win this pawn. Okay, now let's just take the pawn. Because this is defended. Now we have this, we go here, we push the pawn, and then we try to promote. Okay, that's a cool trick. I'll give you that. Let's go here. I don't have to take, though. I don't have to take. I'm going to attack the rook. I'm going to go here. I'm going to push the pawn, trying to make a queen in only 29 seconds. Attack one more time. Now it's completely cooked. He was supposed to go back, but now his knight is trapped. Now over here I can take, and after rook takes, king takes. And the king will try to get back, but the pawn is super close. Yeah. He should not be trading the rooks. I hope he knows that. Okay, now we just get in. He's trying his best to win on time. I don't know what's wrong. But anyways, now we get the king close. We just need to ensure that it's going to be these squares enough. Okay, we're going to go here. If he takes, we just take back. And now we have check here, here. Let him take. It's okay. Now we can make a queen. Okay. He can still move. Okay. Now we make a queen. We need to defend the pawn. Let's go here. Okay. Here. Okay, another check. Maybe that was a checkmate, but we got the checkmate. Okay, now let's check the self-analysis and learn from the game. Let's see. Okay, the grab opening. If you are at the beginner or intermediate level, don't go for openings that are troll or meme. Like, I mean, this opening just gives like one advantage for your opponent right away, because it's better to take control of the center right away. But I did not play that. I played the Slav defense. Then it gave me a lot of space, as you can see. Then he blundered the pawn, and then we traded into somehow with a winning endgame. And here, it's just slight mistakes, like this mistake. Whenever you see your opponent has double pawns, don't help him undouble the pawns, because that is stupid. You're helping your opponent win the game. This is a weakness for me that you can use to target. Like, you can play this move to target this. You can attack the knight, remove the defender of the pawn, and then try to win the pawn. You need to keep the weakness right there and try to target it, not remove the weakness. And here he gave me a lot of space with my... Here he found some good tactic right there, but it's trading the pieces. Look, here I'm 100% sure, if he kept the knight, I would have struggled a little bit to try to figure out a way to promote and win the game. But he simplified everything, which made my job of promoting the pawns much, much easier and win the game. So whenever your opponent is really low on time, don't trade the pieces. Keep all of the pieces on the board and play defensive. Then most likely it's going to lose on time. But then when you simplify, it's really easy to see. That's the red carpet for the pawn, promote and win the game. Okay, let's play a final 10-minute game. Let's see. Okay, let's go. Ooh. Okay, from Japan, e4. I like to play the Caro-Kann, c6. They play d4, they play c4, they play knight c3, sometimes they play knight to f3. It depends on what they want. They can also get out with the bishop, ban out of attack. But there is no best move against the Caro-Kann. They can play whatever they want, but this move gives them more, space. Okay, now d5. If they take, we take back. If you play this move, which is knight to f3. Knight f3, we just take it. Okay, now here we take back with the pawn. And then we just focus on developing the knights, get out with the bishop, and castle. Simple as that. The Caro-Kann is the easiest opening to play. First of all, we need to protect this pawn. We need to play knight f6. We need to add more defenders. Don't worry about this. Now you need to worry about this, because the bishop there with the knight are looking at this fork. We just play this move a6. Then we develop the knight. Stopping the knight from pushing. And now it's about, okay, he really wants to remove the knight from here. I don't really... I can take, and I can allow him to take me and take back and just help develop my bishop. So I can play a move like bishop to f5. If he takes me, I take back. My bishop is developed. I can play e6 right after, but I have something called a backward pawn. The pawn right here, there's no pawn beside it that can help it, and I should use it to strike in the center. So let's see what kind of position I want in the future, and based on that, I can choose whether to take or to defend the knight with the queen in order to make sure I'm not going to have a backward pawn. So if I play the bishop right there and he takes and I take back, the idea that after e6 and c5 and he takes and I take back, I can use the backward pawn, the weakness that I have, to push the pawn and get rid of the weakness. So that's an idea. I can also play queen to b6, attacking this pawn on b2, attacking the pawn on d4 twice. But after queen b6, he will take. If I take back with a pawn to maintain the pressure right here, he can push. Okay, so I'm thinking about like queen b6, knight takes, pawn takes. He plays this move, and e5. If he takes with the pawn, I was thinking about bishop here. And if he takes, I take with the check and I win the rook. Too many crazy lines in this. It depends on what you want. Depends what kind of position you want to see. Honestly, I'm just going to focus on developing the pieces. If he wants to take, I can take back. This could be targeted right, easily if he pushed c4 from the beginning instead of playing knight c3. Okay, so bishop right there. He wants to get the bishop trade. I can go back, and whenever he castles kingside, I will have a very active rook. I can also take. The queen takes. I can play this move to attack the queen. The queen would move back to try to keep defending this pawn. But honestly, there's something wrong here. What is it? Well, the bishop right here blocks the queen from defending the pawn on d4. But is taking the pawn on d4 good or not? Let's calculate. Don't just blitz out the move. Oh, that looks a free pawn. No, focus. If we take the pawn, what will happen? If he takes like this, we take back with the knight. Okay, so this pawn is defended twice. And we can always go back and protect ourselves, right? If we got attacked or something. So wait, knight takes this, he plays this move. I can go like here, but then I might lose the pawn. Okay, so there's a slight problem with this variation. Another variation, knight takes. Is there this sacrifice? Well, we can just take it. After knight takes, we can take back. That's completely losing. So knight takes pawn, bishop takes, knight takes. I'm thinking about this move, g4. g4. Yeah, so knight takes, bishop takes, knight takes, the move g4. I can go knight to h4, letting this check to win his bishop. I think we found a way out. A way out of this, because I don't want to go back and block the queen from defending my own pawn and do the exact same thing my opponent did. Now we can take this pawn without any problems. Let's take it. So bishop takes, knight takes, pawn push, knight to h4. Because if he pushed the pawn, I have a check and I can win this. And whenever he takes, okay. This is defended twice, no reason to worry. If you play this move g4, makes a lot of sense actually. But the idea, the g4, we play knight to h4 to get the fork. But I'm worrying about g4, knight to h4, and g5 attacking my knight, which is defending the pawn. So this. I'm defending the pawn. Wow, what a miracle. See, I'm defending the pawn from there. So if he takes my knight, it would be fine because I can take back and then support it and then play normal chess. That's cool. Okay, let's see what he does. Because if he didn't do anything, then the move e6 would be, I'm just completely winning. Because e6 defend the pawn, defend the knight, allows me to go back without risking the the loss of the pawn on d5. Yeah, this is completely bad. Because we have e6. e6 makes a lot of sense. Yes, he can castle like this, have some control, have some pressure, I would say. But nothing is happening right now. We can play bishop to b4, trying to get more trades. We can put the rook on the open file. Whenever your opponent is taking his time to think, don't think about what he can do. Think about what you want to do as a plan. Like, what is your plan? Okay, how you want your pieces to go. Like here, I don't really care what he did right now. This is completely, why? Why would you give up the bishop that is actually doing something, at least? Weird, okay. So the plan usually consists of thinking where you want to put the pieces, the most optimal square for your pieces. The bishop is not developed, the king is not castled, the queen is still in its position, the rook is not yet controlled and put on a really good file, right? So this is what you need to do. Just think where you want to put the pieces. I want to put the bishop right there, put the rook right here. To force the doubling of his pawns, I want to castle my king and be safe. I want to remove his bishop advantage, which his bishop is really strong. If I removed it, that would be good. But if I remove it, then the pawn takes, and then he would have a little bit of an counterplay on this side because his rook will be very, very active. So knight takes, pawn will take. Okay, what next? Something like bishop here to try to get more trades happening. And then we can play queen c7, attack the knight to add more pressure right there. That would be cool. So I'm going to take this because, look, my knight is really overextended like this. I don't want to go back with it. So I'm just going to take his bishop. I know he's going to take back with the pawn, but right now this is defended. Defend it with the rook, defend it with the knight. Unless I castle, then it's going to be a little bit tricky. But until then, we're totally fine. Maybe if he takes and push the pawn, then it would be a problem because he would be trying to remove the guard and then try to win the pawn. But for now, I'm thinking about a cool move like bishop to b4. Just activate the bishop, try to take this knight. Well, before taking the knight, okay. I wanted to keep this to play the move queen to c7. Okay, let me see. See, queen c7, if he takes my bishop, he's going to have double pawns. I can take his knight with a check. That would be dope. And I have a really, really active queen. That's cool. Okay. And if he didn't, and he just moved his knight somewhere, for example, he can actually sacrifice the knight. But no, that's actually a blunder, because I can take him with a check, and if he takes back, I take this knight. Okay, now I don't think he has something. Okay, I have queen c7. I'm going to go for it. The idea of queen c7, I'm adding more pressure here and more pressure right there. If the knight went back, I want to take, and if the queen takes, I will take, and after the pawn takes, he has a weakness. He has double pawns, and I can use my rook to target them and win the game much faster. And if he takes me right then, see, he did it. Now we're going to take here. Actually, I really hate playing super fast because I had this move knight to e4 to add more pressure, but maybe this would have cost me this. Yeah, now we're going to take this queen, obviously. Now, these are a weakness. Now we need to target. Rook to c8. Attacking this pawn. He might think about counterplaying, like, for example, rook to b1. Attacks this pawn. Makes a lot of sense. Brilliant. What do we have? I have the move b5, but the reason I hate this move b5, they can play this move a4. And if I take, then it's just going to be really messed up. So I'm going to play rook c7. Then play king to e7. Then to get the rook somehow doubled up and then push the pawn. Then try to win. Look, I don't need to rush winning this game. This is a weakness, a lifelong weakness, because he cannot push. I have defense. All I have to do right now is just to make sure this pawn will be protected. Let's play rook c7 first, defend the pawn. And then we can castle if we want, but in the end game, your king is supposed to be active. Because let's say the rooks and the knights are off the board. Then the king is very important, very, very crucial piece to win the game. If my king is in the corner and his king is active, he might do some damage. So king activity is really important. That's why whenever you're in an endgame, don't castle. You're in the opening or in the middle game, castle. You're in the endgame, keep the king active. I'm going to play king e7. I'll play something like rook b8, and then try to win the pawn on c3. If you try to defend like this, the rook would be very, very passive. Okay, I'm not really sure what he's doing with this move. There's a very easy way of attacking the knight and making sure the pawn will not be targeted anymore. So I'm going to play this h6 move, kick the knight goes back. I play the move king to e7. He gets his knight active, but there's nothing with that. Like, yes, some stuff, but I don't really see it. Inside to go there makes a lot of sense. I have this move knight to e4 to attack the pawn twice. That's a cool. Okay, so knight to e4, he cannot defend because we're taking away the square from him. So knight to e4, if he pushed, that's an idea. Because if I take with the rook, I'll be checked. And after knight to e4, he pushes the pawn. I take with my own pawn. Then I'm opening up for his. I want the rook to be there to add more pressure against the pawn and against the knight. So I'm going to play rook b8 first. No need to rush. This is a lifelong weakness. Now, knight to e4 would be crushing, because if he push, I can simply take, and there is no rook takes here. Okay, now we can easily just win this pawn because Yes, he stopped my knight from jumping in, but this pawn is hanging, the other pawn is hanging. We need to check for checks, captures, and attacks for our opponent to see if there's any counterplay. For example, a rook over here, and there's this check. Let's imagine there is no rook right here. Okay, there's no rook. Then this fork would work because we cannot take, we cannot lose. But there is a rook. So after we take, we don't take this pawn because there is this fork. And after we take, we lose the rook anyway. So we need to gain space by playing like move like e5, allow this move to work. We get back there, and then and only then we try to, oh, you're down material. Don't trade, don't simplify the position. Don't make the life of your opponent easier. Make it hard. Okay, now we get the rook pretty much active. When I get the check, he stopped me from getting the checks. Makes sense. Now we need the knight to get into the game. e5, knight check, king f8, knight getting in, rook over there, and his knight would be not hanging actually. Hold on. e5, knight here, this move, I need to go here. I'm fine with that, but you know what? Let's just get the king a little bit active. If he wants to trade the rooks, then he would be completely losing the game. And then we can manage to, okay, don't abandon the game. I only have 50 seconds. Okay, my opponent, I don't know why he quit the game. Never resign. Like, look, if your opponent has way too many time on his clock, then yeah, you should resign. But I only have 1 minute. Like, don't trust me that much, even though I'm going to win either way. But don't trust me on this. Okay, e4, we play the Caro-Kann, and then we stopped the threat of the move knight to b5, trying to get the fork. And then we just continued playing this. Here we had bishop to d7, which is completely insane. Why would I play bishop d7? It is the best move. There's e6. I played bishop to f5. What is wrong with this move? g4. g4 right away? g4 right away. Wow. Knight takes e5, and then he takes here. And then we go back. That's okay. Here, knight takes d4 was the best move. We took, he takes, and we take back. And g4 was the correct move. Knight to h4 was the correct move. No, d4. d4, knight h4. Okay, I wanted to play knight to h4. And then bishop g3. Bishop g3 I did not see. Because there's no fork, and this move is coming either way. We play d4. Queen e2. Queen e2? Why queen e2? Yo, this is the LCAT. We're getting into dark place where the stockfish gets activated. Okay. We just played e6, and then we managed to trade. Okay, I want to know queen c7, was it good? Queen c7 was not even on the list. Okay, but that's totally fine. He needed to take the bishop, but he didn't, and now we took. And now he has this weakness. Now all we need to do is just to target the weakness. And this is how I won. I won because I made a weakness, and then I started to target it. We played it simple, nothing much. We took the pawn, we traded, and then he decided to resign. Thank you for watching.